Hi, it's Dennis Daly. Nice to have you along on All Week Theater, where we take a classic radio episode and play it out over 5 days. Now, CBS's You Are There goes back to the Salem Witch Trials for Part 2.
The judges are coming in now. Judges Sewell, Sargent, Winthrop, Richards of Boston, Corwin, and Gedney of Salem. And here comes the Deputy Governor, the Honorable William Stoughton, who has been acting as Chief Justice during the trial. This is the sign that the recess is over, the prisoner is about to be brought in, and the trial resumed. The crowd grows quiet. Attorney General Thomas Newton has walked over to say something to Deputy Governor Stoughton.
Here she comes.
Oh, here she comes. Here comes Rebecca Norse, accused witch. She's flanked by George Herrick on the right, another constable on the left. Her husband is standing up. Francis Norse is waving to his wife, trying to get her attention, but the elderly prisoner seems to be either too indifferent or too tired to look up. That was her daughter's voice. The voice you heard was Sarah Norse's, the defendant's 28-year-old daughter. She called out, "Mother," and her mother seems to have heard her. She raises her head. She looks a little bewildered. Judge Stoughton is pounding on the desk for order. The trial's about to start. In the front row, the afflicted girls, Ann Putnam and Abigail Williams, who are here to testify against Rebecca Norse, are staring at her. The marshal helps the prisoner to the platform where she stood this morning. Apparently, Rebecca Norse is still not going to sit. She's going to stand through this session. She's standing about 8 feet from the judges now, facing the judges. Attorney General Newton has opened the trial, and he tells Rebecca Norse, "You are now in the hands of authority."
I adjure you to answer the questions of the court truthfully and not to lie.
He warns her not to lie, and now I'll throw open the microphone on the witness stand and let you hear the proceedings.
Rebecca Norse, why do you hurt these children?
I do not hurt them.
If you are guilty of this fact, do you think you could hide it?
The Lord knows.
Ann Putnam, have you seen this woman hurt you?
Yes, she beat me last night.
Despite the fact that Rebecca Norse was locked in the Salem jail last night, 12-year-old Ann Putnam accuses her of having beaten her in her own home, thereby implying that Rebecca Norse can be in two places at once and is therefore a witch.
Abigail Williams, have you been hurt by this woman?
Yes.
Now, Rebecca Norse, here are two, Ann Putnam, the child, and Abigail Williams, who complain of your hurting them. What do you say to it?
I do not hurt them.
This morning you heard read the confession of one Abigail Hobbs, confessed witch. She named you as the queen of a witch's feast. What do you say to it?
How could she say that? She is one of us.
What do you mean by that?
By what?
What do you mean by one of us?
She is like the rest of us, innocently imprisoned.
Didn't you say you would tell the truth? Who hurts these children now? Look upon them.
They are go to prayer.
We have not sent for you to go to prayer. Why did you stop coming to church when the girls were seized with fits?
It made me ill.
Why didn't you visit them in their affliction the way the other neighbors did?
I was not able to go out of doors because of illness.
What sort of illness?
I suffer from weakness of the stomach, sir.
There's a man! What's bringing her here?
What did he say to you?
We mustn't believe everything these distracted children say. There is no one whispering in the ear.
You dare to lie before this whole assembly. You are now before authority. I expect the truth. What did the man whisper in your ear?
I ask anyone here to tell me they saw anyone beside me. You can see I am all alone.
Next out of the sacrament, David, please do not be
There has been talk among your neighbors, Rebecca Norse, that your illness is of a supernatural character. What do you say to that?
But I've had difficult times, sir. I am the mother of 8 children, and I suffer with the weakness that any woman would, my age and condition.
Do you have any wounds?
Attorney General Newton has asked the defendant perhaps the most dangerous question of all so far. Do you have any wounds? Referring to those marks found on the person of a witch which betray that she is in league with Satan. But Rebecca Norse, being slightly deaf, he has to repeat the question, do you have any wounds? I have none but old age, she answers. 71-year-old Rebecca Norse is beginning to tire. Her white hair, somewhat disheveled, is clinging to her forehead. She's wringing her hands, nervously clasping and... Something strange is happening. 12-year-old Ann Putnam is screaming she is pinching, she is pinching. And now Abigail Williams is screaming she is choking me. Both of these girls seem to be having some kind of a spasm. They're writhing on the floor, clutching at their throats and crying that Rebecca North is choking them. Deputy Marshal Herrick and another constable have run over, and they're each holding one of the prisoner's hands to keep her from pinching and choking the girls, who are at least 10 feet away from her. They're now manacling her hands behind her back. The turmoil is dying down. The spectators are taking their seats. Attorney General Newton again turns to the prisoner, who seems visibly...
You see, Rebecca Doss, what a great condition these girls are in. Why do you hurt them?
I do not hurt them.
But when your hands are freed, the girls are pinched and choked.
May I sit down? I do not feel well.
You are strong enough, Rebecca Doss, to bewitch these girls. You are strong enough to stand at your trial. Do you think these girls suffer voluntarily or involuntarily? What do you say, Rebecca Doss? Do these girls suffer voluntarily or involuntarily?
No.
The court is not able to hear you.
May my husband come up to wipe me for it. Sweat from me for it. My hands are bound.
These girls charge you with hurting them. If you think they suffer involuntarily, then you admit that what they say is true. And if you think they suffer not willingly, then you are calling them murderers. Which do you say, Rebecca Doss?
I do not mean to call them murderers. I don't know what to make of their conduct.
Answer the question, Rebecca Doss. Do you think these girls suffer against their will or not?
I do not think they suffer against their will.
So join me next time when I take a classic old-time radio episode and split it up into 5 easy-to-digest pieces, right here on All Week Theater.